Howdy, folks. We're playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons this evening. It'll be great. Last time on this fun adventure, they were tricked by a teenage boy who turned into a rat, and they were ambushed on the road. Good times were had. Many foul creatures were slain. Not a single survivor of the bandit troop, except for the rat boy who disappeared into the woods. Our fearless fisticuff man, Tim Toothy, with his trusted sidekick, Jelly, the goblin, has chased off into the woods looking for the rat boy, while the rest of the party continues on their trek southward, promising to catch up in the near future.
Did we loot last time?
Yeah, I do believe we ended with loot.
Okay.
I do vaguely remember.
I think so, yeah.
Right. So the same group of adventurers as every time I'm running these games, so I don't feel like we really need to run back down through everybody. Just sort of a refresher, the sort of overarching goal. The forward momentum currently is Craig, the newest member of the squad, a former zombie, is weird here. It's we've got a labor system made up entirely of undead, and him once being undead and now seeming to regain consciousness in his rotted body is a problem for those in charge. So you have been tasked, sort of the rest of the party has been tasked to escort Craig to the capital for further, what's the word I'm looking for? The tactful word.
Research?
Yeah, research. Further research into the causes of this abnormality. Craig has made it very, very clear that he doesn't really like that idea. But you guys have a long way to go to the capital. It's not really very close. You are about a week into the journey south. It'll take a bit over a month to make it to the capital. You have to cross. You're about to sort of an overview of the map that you guys are trekking across. You're about to reach what used to be the furthest outpost of the original kingdom, on the outskirts of a great desert. You will have to pass through the desert to get to the center and the capital. That's where most of the travel time is put into, is crossing the desert, because most caravans take their time rather than trying to rush through it, as it's very easy to get turned around in sand dunes. And also traveling at night is usually how caravans travel through deserts. For at least one of you, it would suck to be walking through that desert during the daytime.
That's being kind.
Yeah, that. When one says sunlight sensitivity, the desert is probably the worst case scenario. But you guys are, less than, as the morning rises on the next day, as I prefer to have you all long rested. So I don't know if you guys did that or not already, but please, refresh your characters. It is the dawn of a new day. on your trek. Craig is aware that you should be making it to what he remembers as an outpost town, the outpost town of Livingstone, by mid-afternoon. Do you remember what I told you about Livingstone, or would you like a refresher, Craig?
Yeah, no, I remember it was kind of on the outskirts, didn't abide by most of the rules because the people didn't come out that far very often. Whenever I was alive, it was like a cowboy town kind of.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Right. So, any things that need to be done on your travels? We've got sort of like a set marching order of Craig and Clarney and Carney up front, with Girk Convergent sort of being caravan guard. Andreas and Narvos, where do you guys want to be in the caravan setup?
Probably somewhere near the back, kind of like keeping an eye out, but like distractedly, like playing with one of my rings or one of my earrings.
Okay, so you're just sort of like existing in the caravan, ready to be called upon.
Yeah.
Narvos, where there's two sort of there's sort of a carriage that can be that's being pulled along for ease of travel for passengers, which nobody's in right now. Tim, Toothy, and Jelly usually hang out there, but they have gone off. And then there's a second sort of more like pack mule led resource wagon that's filled with the food and gallons of water and tents, the sort of camping gear. There's two wagons. Is your caravan.
What's the name of the town we're heading towards again?
Livingstone.
Livingstone. I should have known that. Yeah.
Or Livingston, depending on your pronunciation.
No, it's Livingstone. There's an E at the end.
I'll be up with towards the front. With Blarney and Craig.
Okay.
I'll definitely be heading up towards the front there.
You're hanging out up there, kind of the same sort of like just hanging out, waiting to be called upon if something happens, not really paying any attention.
Yeah, pretty much just kind of walking, existing.
Right. So, you guys, the terrain here is kind of hilly, foresty, verdant type. You guys have passed through. The border seems to be a lot of grasslands with sparse trees, a lot like the Goblands. You know, they didn't. They used the natural old wall that was there as a border, but it was essentially the same type of terrain as the Goblands. What you're traveling through now, about 4 days travel out from the desert, is a hilly kind of cliff forests, good timber, for any sort of like ship works or housing. You guys, can I get a perception check from Girk, Convergent, and Clarney?
I can't do one?
You're going to give me the animal handling check.
Dang.
Yeah, you're in charge of the
I
animals.
know. I'm just very good at perception.
Girk has a 1.
I got a 22.
22. Girk got a 1, is that what I heard?
Rolled a 1, and I am -1 on my wisdom.
So that's a 0.
I got a 15.
Wow.
15. You guys round a corner, and the road sort of like the forest on either side ends on your right side, and it's now a sort of like cliff almost, so you can see out, and down in a valley below there's many trees, and in the sort of like center of the valley you see a small village, several chimneys rising up the smoke. The road you can see winds down the hill a little bit, and curves to the right and runs right through the village. With a 15 conversion, you see that there seems to be hustle and bustle in the town. There's something. There's a lot of movement. It doesn't seem like a call to arms. You don't hear a bell or anything, but movement in the village. Clarny, you said you got a 22.
Yes, 22.
You see just barely perceptible on the far side of the village, where you assume the road should continue out of the village, a ways away, probably you guess about the same distance you are from the village on the other side, just coming out of the trees, you see a perceptible amount of dust being kicked up. So somebody or some caravan is coming into town from the far side. From the this is essentially, the Emperor's Road. So, it travels north to south from the capital to the north and from the capital south.
Is everyone awake or asleep? What are we?
It's middle of the day, so the only person
Okay.
that might be asleep is Conversion. That's their choice.
I alert them that there's something in the distance that seems to be coming our way.
That explains why people are busy.
Yeah.
Right, and then what'd you get for your animal handling check for the day?
18.
18. No, you and the horses talk. You guys are bros now.
Yeah.
Hang out. Have you named any of them yet?
I thought I asked them their names, didn't I?
These are things to
I didn't write
be
it
written
down if I
at some
did.
point.
But I'll do it this time. I can cast Speak with Animals once for free a day, so.
Girk would say lunch and dinner.
Well, there you go. There's their names. You got lunch and dinner.
I'm gonna ask them their names right now.
Yeah, we're horses. We don't have names.
What would you prefer to be called?
I like Carl,
It's a good name, Carl.
and that's Paul over there.
Carl and Paul.
Yeah.
Best friends for life.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. There's an hour. You can talk to me, so if you need anything, just let me know.
You got a lot of flies around you.
Yes, my muscles don't convulse to make them go away.
Oh, maybe I can teach you that. That's something we can work on together.
Maybe I am missing half of my left bicep.
That's concerning.
Comes with the territory.
Right. So you guys make your way into town with Craig and the horses conversing the whole way. As you guys kind of round the final corner, this is a bustling little village. Probably about double the size of the border town you guys hung out in. Several hundred people. There is a hotel, a bank. There are several sort of like large 2-story. Almost everything is built out of wood, by the way, just of how rich in timber this area is. So it's less of the thatch covered padded dirt, like packed dirt hovel huts. that the border town survives in. This is what would pass as a center of commerce on the outskirts. Definitely has been around for the better part of half a century. But it is admittedly only like it is only a single road town. It doesn't branch off. The Emperor's Road cuts a path directly through the center, with stalls and wares being hawked on either side. As your caravan pulls in, you guys can see on the far side of town a better view of the approaching dignitaries, as becomes readily apparent as line upon line of Bone Boy soldiers marches 2 by 2. As you get closer to the town, you can hear their footsteps falling in tandem.
I am as hidden as possible. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm covered. My face is covered and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you've pulled up your hood. There's no issue there. Coming into. Yep.
Sorry, can I quickly wild shape into like an inconspicuous cat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you want to hop into one of the wagons?
I will kind of like make my way around the stalls and around the crowd and keep an eye on what's going on.
Okay.
Inconspicuously.
Mm-hmm. So you guys approaching the town, and you're pretty much for the most part ignored, as a lot of the focus has turned to the other side of town. There is, in particular, for those who are perceptive, a on the top of the tavern is a balcony on the second floor. Jutting out is a balcony, and there's a large burly man with both of his arms resting on the rail. His beady might not be the word I'm looking for, but a very perceptive, attentive eyes were watching the dignitary come into town, but his eyes also fly over to the other side, to you guys, and in turn inspects each individual very quickly, maybe a second for each of you, and then returns his attention back to the dignitary. Large guy, black hair, big bushy mustache. He's very hairy. You can see the hair, the black hair on his arms. Prominently shown on his chest for anybody to see. He's not trying to hide it. Is a large, what I would call a Bowie knife. A knife that just takes up about half the size of his chest. At a ready angle for him to draw whenever he needs.
A mini machete?
Yeah, it's. Yeah, you could say that. It's got a more wicked point.
Okay.
I mean, admittedly, you can't see that point. Let me see if I can.
You get a sense it's a fighting knife, not a tool.
Yeah, it's a fighting.
Yeah.
Post it. Something like that. For those of you out there that want to look it up, I literally just Googled Bowie knife, and
There you go.
first thing there.
Ta-da.
It's a knife that, like, when it stabs somebody, it'll kill them. It'll murder them. Taking, camera pans back over to the approaching dignitary on the far side. Real quick, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to pull off? Do you guys want to keep plowing through the town? They're taking up the whole road.
Yeah,
Like on the far side.
Have we reached a tavern yet, or have we reached the tavern where this guy
Yeah.
is?
Yeah, you guys would be like, I would say you guys would be pulling up like right below his tavern right now. So like he's probably like 15 feet up and to the left right now.
All right. Make sure that we pull cart out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough. There's plenty of places to tie the horses in front of the tavern. So you guys all pull to the side. Camera pans to the dignitaries on the other side. And there is almost like an open-faced wagon. It's almost a parade on the other side as this guy approaches. He's making a show of his entering this town. There are people that are coming out of their shops, coming out from the hotel, which is on the other side of the street, more to the center of the village. He's an older looking gentleman, whitish hair. He's probably a bit older for comparison. He's probably about 3 to 5 years older than the blacksmith from the outpost town. So he's definitely one of the oldest individuals you guys have seen in the Empire. He's wearing super nice cloak and robes, probably silk and velvet, some purple and blue dyes, fine, rich clothing. His chariot, essentially, it's not a chariot, it's a wagon. But it's being pulled by 2 skeletal horses that have been reanimated. He's waving. He's greeting people. And you can gather from the crowd, just sort of listening in, that this is a magister. A guy that, same as names left my brain. Lucas. Lucas. I wanted to say Lucas, and my brain was telling me I was wrong.
I forgot his name yesterday too.
So yeah, he holds the same sort of title as Lucas, and he is coming in to be the magister of the town. And you can gather just from the whispers and the conversations, nobody's trying to hide it. They're especially in front of this tavern that you guys are in. They don't want it. There are some people that are by the hotel who are cheering and happy, and the sort of people who come out of their shop fronts down the way are cheering and praise William, you've arrived type stuff. There's a lot of happiness and joy at the arrival of this magister. But the mood at this tavern, for any of you with a decent passive insight, is one of methodical calculation. Of they're not outwardly showing their displeasure of this guy's arrival, but they are not welcoming it either.
I would want to get out and get in the tavern as quick as possible.
Easy enough. Doors are open. There's not even any shut door. It's open to the public. You tie the horses off and you pull the carriages aside, and Craig goes into the tavern. You pull into the tavern, and there is, for the most part, it's a long hallway to get in with a bunch of sort of like coat racks and hat racks and places to put your weaponry. None of the weaponry holsters are used. Several of the hat and jacket places are used. So it's pretty apparent that they are armed inside this tavern. Those who abide in. It's about a 20-foot walk in, and you round a corner, and there are several drunk patrons asleep at a table, a few playing cards, not even paying attention to what's going on outside. A guy in his late 30s cleaning a cup by the bar, and behind him you see a armed and cocked heavy crossbow is just resting behind him, ready to be grabbed at any sign of trouble. And he looks out and he goes, "Welcome.
There's no.
What can we do for you?"
There's no undead in here.
No.
Okay.
Nope. All living, to your knowledge. There's probably about half a dozen drunk patrons and a bartender, and there's a set of stairs in the back behind the bar that lead up to the second floor, which is not directly accessible. Seems to be private abode for customers and the owner and employees.
I reply to the guy, "We were just passing through. Didn't expect the comeuppance."
Oh yeah, Greg Heist come to town. We heard he was coming in for, I don't know, a couple weeks. You work with him?
No.
Well then, I should say you're welcome here then.
I appreciate
need?
that.
What do you have?
Just a water for me, please. I'll sit at the bar.
Water. Right. And he walks back and comes back with a cup of water. You might not care, but the cup of water, the cup you feel probably is super clean, but the water is pretty murky.
It doesn't really matter to me. I just let it slide into my empty hole of the body.
It's watered down ale. They literally don't have water back there. They just have the ale that is practically water.
All right, gotcha.
So that's what he hands you. What's the rest of you guys doing? At this point out there, the procession has stopped in the center of town directly in front of the hotel. And the Magister has hopped down and is greeting a rat-looking man. Like, I have no better way to explain how this man looks that he is greeting that has come out of the hotel other than a rat of a human. He's got, a pointed face, greasy, slicked hair that goes down to about his shoulders. He has an attempt at like a suit and bow tie and bowler hat, all of it moth-eaten and ratty. Is greeting, but too far of a distance to really get any of the conversation. But he seems to be essentially groveling to the Magister as he tucks and bows and beckons him into the hotel.
That's the hotel that we're sitting in front of?
No, this is the tavern. There is a hotel probably about 30 to 50 feet further down the road and on the other side of the road.
Can we say the man looks like Danny DeVito's penguin if he was a rat instead?
Much thinner. Thinner, but
Cool.
yes.
I was going to suggest the, was it the little toady from Lake Town in The Hobbit?
Oh, yeah.
It's a decent one. That's a decent one. Much closer to the image I'm portraying.
Anybody in the crowd saying anything?
I mean, yeah, there's a deafening conversation happening all around you. Around in front of the tavern, there seems to be, like I said, a general sort of trepidation and like, this guy's bad for business. Bad for business. Like a semblance of law and order coming to this town. But the sort of like shopkeepers and regular type folk that are further down the road seem to be excited at the prospect of the term a hand of William is tossed around a lot. The fact that there will be a presence of William in this town after so long seems to be what a lot of the common folk is excited about further down.
While this is going on, as I'm making my way through the crowds, do I pick up on anything seditious? And do I see anyone part of the caravan of note? Apart from obviously this new guy.
No, it's literally just this guy and a crap ton of undead.
That's it?
Like, he's brought a garrison of undead with him.
Okay. No secretaries, partners, friends, family, children, nothing. Okay.
No. Absolutely not. He has brought probably a dozen to 20, somewhere in that line, of undead warriors. 2 undead horses. And in the carriage, he was sort of like waving at the crowd from in the back of it as you sort of like hop up in your cat form and look around. And it takes a second before an undead bone boy just like very rudely grabs you and throws you into the gutters. It's just his personal belongings. There's several chests, a wardrobe. There is one thing of note in there that you spot just as the Bone Boy's hands takes you and throws you, is a large painting of William the Conqueror. Very familiar, because it is the exact same painting that hangs in Lucas's study.
All right, I'll hiss angrily as I am thrown.
Yeah, the Bone Boy doesn't even register that you did that. It just returns to formation.
All right, I'll rejoin the gang.
Right. What are the rest of you guys doing? Craig's gone into the tavern. There are, there's a general store, there's a hardware store, there's a bank, there's a hotel, there is a butcher shop. This place has more than the outpost town. If you guys want to sort of go shopping, you can head into the tavern. What would you guys like to do? Currently, the guy's standing army essentially is taking up the center thoroughfare, and you're unclear of if you guys could get your caravan through it.
Oh, I'm sure we could. It would just cause a whole big scene.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that the horses are secure, and I don't really have like animal handling or anything, but
It's easy enough to just tie them to a post.
Yep. And then we'll head into the tavern.
Yeah.
Same image greets you as I explained to Craig. It's a long hallway entryway. Turns into the main tavern on a left turn. There's a cold fireplace. There isn't a fire in it. Lots of tables. Some drunkards playing cards. Some passed out drunkards.
They walk in, I'll say to the bartender, they're with me, no friends of William's either.
Well, and he kind of looks around at like all of the drunk patrons and goes, I wouldn't say we're not friends of William's. We have our lives to think about now, don't we?
Indeed.
Very practical response. He's not kowtowing to William, but he knows the society he lives in.
Yeah.
So does everybody file in? So there's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of you and not a human in the lot.
Yep.
Except for Craig, who he believes is a human. So he turns to you, Craig, and goes, "These are your friends."
Said they're with me, but I guess you could say that, yes.
More like work acquaintances.
He's hoping.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get the boss. And he just like turns on his heel and walks up the stairs.
Was a fair response, yes.
Yeah, you guys got to remember this is like a 98% human society, and like that other 2% is admittedly dwarves and elves. So we're kind of hitting the mark, but you weird plant elf hobgoblin.
The one dwarf has a goblin standing in front of him with his shield out at all times.
Yeah. Yeah, you know,
we probably have met his quota of non-humans for his entire life.
correct. Yeah, you probably
Yeah.
tripled the amount of non-humans he's met in
Sweet.
a single moment.
Yeah, we range from a mini human to human-ish to a blue human. Yeah, we're all over the place.
So, a couple minutes later, you hear vile expletives from the top as he yells at his bartender, Johnny. You learn his name at that point, that his name is Johnny. Get the fuck out of here, Johnny. What are you bothering me with this shit for? Oh, fuck, fine. I'll go down and see him. Make sure they don't cause a mess in my bar. And down stomps the large, burly, hairy man. He walks up. Under the bar, he pulls out a bottle of dark brown liquid and a shot glass and immediately pours himself a shot and takes it and looks at all of you.
I need you to make as well, please.
Yeah, he'll pour you one without even a second thought and slide the same shot glass over to you. So 2 things. 1, Craig, I want a stealth check or a performance check. I'll let you decide.
I mean, I'm significantly better at one than the other.
I'm just trying to be nice here because I feel like it could be one or the other.
Still,
And
I got a dirty 20.
dirty 20. Let me roll. Where'd I give me my dice box? Where? Give it to me. That is cocked. Okay. He doesn't seem to take any pause at you, Craig. Andreas, you're the one that wanted the shot?
Yep.
Give me a second here. I gotta look something up.
Tris, what do you look like? Like what season are you in?
Because we're moving into the desert, Andreas looks a lot more bronze in skin tone. Same white and purple robe, same like long white hair, but his skin went from like very pale to now very dark.
Nice.
Think almost like bronze-ish, bronze golden color.
I'm moving past what I was going to do because I'm not gonna. That's not how it works when I did a quick Google search. So moving right along, he looks at all of you and goes, "So, the fuck you doing here?"
Traveling south.
Attempting to.
Mm-hmm.
Have it a shot as I down it.
You all look, you don't mind me fucking saying, extremely capable.
That's one way of saying it.
As do you.
Thank you. Thank you. And he slides the knife out a little bit, just as like, he understands what you mean. And in that one moment, you see that the blade is silver as he slides it back in. Craig, you especially know this, but everybody can kind of have this based on your experiences here. This guy's got a silvered weapon in a very poor society. That's an oddity. He either murdered somebody for it or somehow is a man of wealth. But moving right along, how long do you think you'll be in my neck of the woods for? Might be able to make something work with people of means.
I mean, I plan to be here until I'm drunk enough to get kicked out.
But we can fucking come. The word I'm looking for is Sean. What is it? We can make that happen. We can make that happen. There's a fancy word I wanted. Couldn't find it.
That's all in character.
Yeah. Totally.
If you need able-bodied people, we could certainly take on a mission or two.
Well,
You could also find able bodies if that's what you're looking for.
I'd prefer to stay away from that side of town, though, and I'll gesture to where the magistrate just entered.
So, the crowd out there said he was a magister.
Yeah, he does
you-
maguses.
Greg Heist. He's an old hand of the academy. He was in running to be the headmaster, but it seems William passed him up for the job and sent him out here to us to show us civilization. And he like makes a show of his hands of like, ooh, you know,
Lucky you.
fucking lucky us, huh?
What an honor it must be. Oh, pray tell, what have you done to deserve such a wonderful fate?
Last magistrate may have gone missing.
Happens often in these parts, does it?
In these parts, often enough.
Ah,
Around the Empire, not so much. But we at one point stood outside the Empire.
as did a lot of places.
I'll raise a glass as he says that. Take a drink.
I was one of the first here. I was here when this place was just tents. Man. We managed to avoid the war, stay outside of it mostly. We had a few raids, a few problems, and when William, bless his name, won, the mandate came down that we were to fold in. For the most part, we've kept to our own ways, though. It's a lawless town out here sometimes, but we follow the letter. Anyone who breaks the law is hanged. We have almost weekly hanging.
Weekly hangings, but daily hangovers.
This guy gets it. This guy, he pours you another shot and slides it over.
I take it.
Yeah, I keep my eyes on you. Don't cause trouble.
Question for you.
Maybe an answer.
Is there a reason for the patina of your blade?
The man doesn't like werewolves.
He doesn't respond. He just gives a wicked smile.
Cool.
At the comment of werewolves, he specifically gives a pointed look.
You can tell because he's very hairy and smells like a wet dog.
What's your AC?
Very low. 12.
That Bowie knife has gone through your hand.
This seems to happen a lot. Excuse me. Can I?
No.
Is it mine now? Can I keep it?
Shh. Now, what was that about a wet dog?
Oh, well, it was about you.
Girk would do a quick gruff of its own.
What do you mean by gruff?
Yeah, like
Like not a growl, but just like a
like a dog
like
sigh.
7 feet tall, 300 pounds, hairy, like some dogs, kind of like a werewolf. Just making his presence known in the situation.
I'll take care of you in a moment, big man. Wait your fucking turn. Dealing with this cocksucker first.
I would arm myself. I would take my axe.
Yeah,
off
at this
my
point,
back.
we're rolling initiative
Oh, no.
as the guy from behind the bar comes out with a heavy crossbow. The guy at the top of the stairs.
No. Joa, diffuse.
I mean, anybody got something? Because do it right
Diffuse
now.
Starboy.
Enough of this. Stop that.
This is not
If we
something
break
that's
into a
in
fight,
either of our
we're
best
going to have
interests.
a whole lot of skeletons.
Yeah, you guys watch as there is Johnny from behind has grabbed his heavy crossbow. Another guy from the top balcony, the sort of like second story that's above the bar, is looking down over with another heavy crossbow. And at least 2 of the bar patrons that were over on a table playing cards have stopped playing cards. They haven't picked up a weapon, but they have turned their attention fully. Something to note about every single one of these guys. They are large, very hairy.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
So you have your hand pinned by a massive blade to the bar.
I've started my fair share of bar fights. I've ended my fair share too. But there's a small army down the road. If we start anything here, I don't think either of us are going to have a good time, shall I say. So why don't you take that blade out of my hand, pass me another shot, or let's keep this night rolling.
First off, you take 4 points of piercing damage from the initial stab.
Okay, as soon as that happens, does he take the knife out?
No. He gives you a look and goes, I'll take an apology in my fucking bar. And then he starts to twist the knife.
I am so sincerely apologize.
He pulls the knife out. You took another 2 points of damage.
The moment he
From the
does that, the wound just covers over and heals.
Okay.
Does he give me another shot?
No.
Okay.
No, he doesn't. He is staring daggers at you and then to the big man.
Metaphorically and literally.
And he goes,
Is his bottle open? Like the bottle of brown liquid.
yeah, the whiskey's still sitting there.
Cool. I'm gonna shape water a shot into my mouth.
He goes to stab you. A voice from back of the bar goes, Mason, stop. And a kind of thin human, brown hair, also with a bushy mustache, several scars all over his face and neck, though. Seems to have gotten into a tussle with some sort of beast previously in his life. A sort of like long overcoat, what I can literally only describe as cowboy boots on his feet. And he walks up, and you know, the knife was moving towards your throat as that call comes out. You know, Girk's kind of like halfway through a movement of defense. Everybody sort of like tenses up for a moment as this guy walks up to the bar and goes, "You can't just keep killing people. I've hanged enough people this week. Don't want to add you to the list. Now, what the fuck did you do to bother?"
Oh, the same thing I always do. Ran my mouth a bit.
Well, maybe you want to get the fuck out of this bar then.
I was just on my way out. And I will very flamboyantly, like, toss my hair aside and, like, the gayest of struts just strut out.
The guy who you, the sort of big burly man who you learned his name is Mason, turns to the newcomer and goes, "Why the fuck won't you let me kill him, Edward? Just one. They have all these other weirdos. That one wants to run his mouth in my fucking bar. You can't let me just murder him and feed him to the boars."
Ta-ta, I say as I, like, leave.
Edward gives you like a stare of, you know, those that last little kick you.
Hang on, Sean. Hang on.
You're
Optimus Prime.
you became a
pretty
robot
hard.
there.
I became a robot. That might. Oh no,
Oh, you're back.
am I good now?
Yes.
Yep.
You are now on his shit list too. That sort of like last little kick you had to get in has put you from like, I've walked into a bar fight in tow and I will end it and move right along to, that guy probably deserved to get stabbed.
Yeah, probably, honestly. Like, yeah, fair.
The two guys with the heavy crossbows, one that's above and Johnny who's behind, kind of take a step back. The one above still has his trained on you, Girk, as you're you're not a hobgoblin, you're a bugbear.
Mhm.
And
Oh, as soon as Andreas started to walk out, I would have walked out because
okay, Girk, the muscle also leaves.
They're not from around here.
in previous instances, were creatures been visible?
What do you mean?
Have we seen any other?
No, you've never met any were people before.
Oh, I'm just wondering if they're commonplace in this realm. That's all.
In the Empire, in any game I've run, no. This is the first time you have any inclination of where people.
Where people, there people, here people.
You know, Arrowknee. I'm sorry, I don't know.
There hasn't been much. Maybe up north. But
Definitely, you know, this is your second town in the Empire, but the first town very much was a sort of clean-cut human village. It had a little bit of a resource shortage, but you know that's what happens when you live on the border. This place seems to have some sort of hierarchy and a lycanthrope problem. Problem to some.
To me now.
Yeah, you seem to have pissed off the werewolf faction.
I wonder how that happened.
But to the rest of you that remain, which is Narvos, Conversion, and Craig, and Clarny, and Carney, Mason turns and goes, well, one of you said something. What did you just say, Craig? I had a response to it.
I said they're not from around here.
Yeah, no fucking shit. You guys, you guys want to crack wise? You guys think that it's smart to walk into somebody's establishment and call them names?
Not what I planned on doing at all, actually.
Well,
Yeah.
then good. You can have a drink. And he pours you a drink. And Narvos also gets a drink for agreeing.
I also agree.
Clarny gets... This guy, you can tell instantly, has met dwarves before. Because he turns to Johnny and goes, "Get the stout one, the largest ale."
Thank you.
And then he turns to you, Conversion, and he goes, I've met a few of your kind.
Oh, not many of us are in these parts.
Evil bastards, the ones I've met. You don't seem to have that glint in your eye.
Yeah, followers of the Spider Queen.
Yeah.
Nah, not quite
Um,
my type.
While I'm outside with Girk, gonna have a bit of a conversation.
Lucas Kirk is the
Thank you.
answer.
I'll just say, Girk, thank you for the solidarity. And Nick, can you go give this to the man? I wish to make a. I've made enough enemies. And I'll hand Girk like 10 silver coins.
What a fucking asshole, dude.
I will make a
Kirk, make an intelligence
I'm
check to
going
see if
to.
you're smart enough.
I know, and you know what? I'm gonna do it in Gamer 1, and I am a -2. I'll be dice room. An 11. I'd know better.
You know better.
No, you keep your coin. I think it would be better off if we figure out whether or not they're kind or quote unquote supposed to be here.
I was just hoping he can make a fancy another dagger of his.
Girk's gonna head to the butcher shop. I'm gonna go get something to eat, and if I'll let everyone else play, but I can send you something behind. If you want me to send you a DM, or I can say it out loud after the fact.
If it's something you want to keep, are you talking to me? You talking to Andreas?
No, talking to DM Sean.
Okay. If it's something you don't want people to know, go ahead and send it to me. Otherwise,
Oh no, I don't care if they know. They're going to tell me not to, but it's going to be
just say it. Well, what do you want to?
so.
Conversion's not there.
Yeah, we're not there to stop you.
Right.
Andreas is.
Oh, I'm going to the butcher shop first. I'm going to get something to eat,
Okay. Yeah.
fresh meat. But on my way back, I'm going to happen by the hotel.
All right. So I am going to cut you off here because there will be a fun scene in the butcher shop. I have the butcher shop built up. There's people in there, so we'll cut back.
Excellent.
Andreas is very aware that he has a target on his back now, and will just be following Girk, knowing that Girk is his muscle, basically.
Yeah, I have a strange feeling that if you ended up on your own, somebody's gonna gut you.
Again.
Back into the tavern. Mason's having a conversation with Conversion about he's asking if you've ever had dealings with the followers of the Spider Queen, as we call her. That damned witch is what I believe she is.
Probably about as good as yours.
We've had our problems. There seems to be somewhere nearby entrance to the Underdark. They raid from time to time. It's one of the reasons I'm so respected, might be the word in this town, as I help defend when the Dark Elves come to call. Now, Magister Heist out there probably will be taking the credit for it, but you guys stick around, I might pay for your services, see if we can solve the problem prematurely. Take the credit away from Heist, so to say. But for now,
Would our friends be welcome in this exchange?
huh?
Our friends who are gone, would they be welcome in this exchange?
He sucks on his lip and thinks about it for a second and goes, as long as he keeps his fucking attitude to himself.
I will let him know this personally.
You do that. He's on thin ice with me. Those that are on thin ice with me, well, They get fed to the boards, as I said. So the rest of you guys, he's essentially pouring drinks for this first round of conversations to sort of lubricate you all up and get you all talking. Is anybody not participating in the free drinks?
Conversion will sip on it rather than doing like a shot. But
You got it.
Yeah, I'll be doing just kind of casually drinking the conversation. I'm not drinking to like, get drunk or anything. I'm just drinking.
I'll drink whatever he hands me. It just won't affect me.
The guy that pulled up to the bar, Edward, turns to you all and goes, "Well, I heard a commotion in here, so I came on in, but I think I'll call it a day. Gotta get back to my family. If you guys continue to make trouble, I'm sure I'll see you."
You're the sheriff here.
You called it?
I was a sheriff once.
Oh, fellow lawman. The laws have changed in the past couple decades, but yeah, our job's to interpret and enforce to the letter of the law. And he gives you a wink at as he says the letter of the law.
I just nod.
Gives a nod to you, gives a nod to everybody else that's still in the bar, and walks on out. That's you guys. Any questions for Mason? He's about to sort of like pull out and head back upstairs.
they're a good place to stay around here.
There's the hotel across the way. Bit of a crazy endeavor. You can stay here for a night, but we don't really. Unlike the hotel, we do nightly stays, and we can give you some company if you want. It's what we have expertise in. A warm bed and warm company for an evening.
It sounds nice, yes.
Johnny will help you out with that.
Fair enough then.
And Mason heads on upstairs. The guy who had the sort of bigger burly guy that had his heavy crossbow has retreated back to wherever his sort of post is up on the second balcony, which is where the rooms are. Johnny comes on back out and puts the heavy crossbow he had on its little holster on the back wall and continues his cleaning of that one cup, the classic move of a tavern keep. He doesn't serve that cup, he just cleans it.
Would I be wrong in assuming you don't deal in Williams coins?
We deal in any form of currency, gold, coins of the realm, anything but silver. And he gives just sort of like, now that you're in on it, he gives you this wicked smile, and you can see jagged canine teeth.
Mm-hmm. I thought the William coins were like a silver, gold, copper alloy.
No, they're like an orichalcum greenish glass type.
Okay,
they're almost glass. They're not silver.
So not Electrum then.
No, but I have you guys put them in Electrum because I'm not going to hand you Electrum.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's just one of those. And you can, if you're using D&D Beyond, it at least gives you a happy place to put your money. But yeah, this place definitely, more than the outpost town, this tavern will kind of take whatever means of currency you hand them. If you brought in, a deer that you shot in the woods, you could probably buy yourself, drinks for the night and a warm bed and somebody to sleep in it with you.
Nice.
Just that's the kind of town this is, or at least that's the kind of saloon. Cutting over to Girk and Andreas, who have gone to the butcher's. You walk in, and give me just a second here.
If you guys would remember, you both do have like chits that say William approves of you, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You guys come into the butcher shop, and it's a bloody mess everywhere. It's not very well cleaned. You can see hanging racks in the back. What you hear is the sound of oinking pigs somewhere deeper into the building back there. You can't see any movement, but you can hear the sound of like oinks and shuffling and whatnot. And there is a more stout, probably one of the on the shorter side of human, burly man sharpening knives at the front counter. He probably just came back in from looking out at the procession that came in. What can I do for you?
Would like some fresh meat there.
Fresh meat. Yeah, they don't call me the butcher for nothing.
I think I came to the right place.
Yeah. What kind of meat? We got venison. We got pig. We got a little bit of beef. We're not hugely stocked up on it. We got some poultry. Some local chickens got squashed, and we brought them in.
Venison will be fine.
Venison's what we got plenty of. Okay, give me a moment. He goes back and cuts off a flank of venison and brings it back out and goes, "New in town? Planning on staying? Putting up a tent?"
New yes, staying no.
Pass it through then.
Yes.
Unless we find a good deal.
Good deal on what?
A tent.
Plenty of them. You can talk to Mason up the way. He seems to run a lot of the real estate on the line. That stuff usually he rents out.
Tavern guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he don't like me.
He don't like many people. He likes me. But I do good work for him. I clean up his messes. We clean up his messes.
Does this guy come across as where now that we're looking for it?
He's not like Harry. He's not. He doesn't match the same characteristics. You can try and do something. Like if you're on edge, there are many ways to try and figure out if he's a were person. You know, the Andreas trying to hand that guy silver is a good one. You know, by paying in silver is a good way to figure it out.
Just checking my character sheet.
But that's the problem of were people is they look like people until they're not.
No, just because they're different doesn't mean they're not human.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna dig too deep. I'm not even sure I have any silver. I'm looking for it on my character sheet. I don't see any. All right.
What have you got? Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna. What have you got to trade for the flank of venison?
I have William's coin.
We take that. Give me one, and you get the flank of venison.
All right, I can hand it over to him.
Takes it, pockets it. puts in like the front apron, and then turns and continues sharpening the whetstone. So like the grinding of the whetstone begins, and he turns. There's nothing else I can do for you if you don't got anybody to feed to the pigs.
Good for now.
Maybe I'll see you later. And like as he says that, it's a chilling feeling as you're unclear. It's very ambiguous whether he means he'll see you later when he feeds you to his boars or when you show up back again for more meat. But it's a very menacing comment that he has just made.
Not if I see you first. Out the door I would walk.
And I will tell you, as I made that sound like a laugh, it sounded more like a snort.
Fair enough.
I just don't want to make that sound because it's bad for my throat. And now you wanted someplace to go after that. Where are you heading? I think it was the hotel you said.
The hotel, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you pull up to the hotel. The inside, as you walk into the inside of the hotel, on the right is sort of the check-in counter with a door behind it. There's sort of a big staircase that leads up and splits and goes up to a second floor balcony that has all of the rooms that line it. And to the left, when you walk in, is sort of a large eatery where several of the townsfolk are having their dinners, eating their meals, and the rat guy, the ratty-looking man, is standing behind the check-in counter. He's taken off his bowler hat and placed it on the table. And as you walk in, he goes, welcome. Welcome. What can I do for you? What can I do for you?
Before I even speak to him, I am peering around the entire establishment, looking for undead guards.
There is there was one bone boy at the door when you walked in, and there's another one posted at the bottom of the staircase. Any of the others you don't see in line of sight to you. But you had to walk by one, and then there's another one probably about like 5-10 feet away from you.
What is the cost to stay here?
Yeah, we've got different rates for different types of people. And he runs down a very shady sort of like, he looks you up and down and goes, for you, two coins a night. We got to take on some liability fees for unknown parties, and you've got a friend, so that might bring it up to 3 a night. Different fee exchanges for more folks. We're pretty booked up because of the magistrate coming to town, so maybe it'll be 4 coins. We'll have to talk about the rates. And he just starts sort of rambling as he goes to grab you a key.
I pull out my the coin that was given to us.
The William coin?
Yes.
It's been a while. Do you work for the magistrate? You didn't say anything about having some allies in town, some freelance workers?
Let him know there is a friend of William's here who is looking to speak with him when he has a chance.
Yes.
My name is Girk.
He as he like picks up his bowler hat, puts it on his head, he holds out his hand for a gratuity fee. Huh?
I give him nothing. I would Girk wouldn't know gratuity if it slapped him in the face. I look down at his hand.
It's a long time. Like a solid 45 seconds. He stands there with his hand outstretched, like looking from his hand, looking to you, looking from his hand, looking to you. Kind of like shoves his hand towards you a little bit. And when you finally,
I'd shake it.
Yeah, nice.
That's all he would know.
Deep scowl as he pulls the bowler hat further on his head and walks up the stairs to a room that's the farthest to the corner. Like he leaves out of sight, goes to what is essentially the suite room. Um,
Um,
uh,
can I leave a gold coin on the front desk?
sure. Um,
Girk would look down, look back, look down, look back, and rolling, and would not
We
place the
shouldn't.
two. I wouldn't place the
We,
two.
we shouldn't piss off the people who know where we're sleeping.
After about a minute and a half, the Rat Man comes back and is like, he'll see you up there. He says he doesn't know who you are. If he's if you hurt him, he says it's my head. So don't, please. Thank you. And he goes and takes off his bowler hat and sees the gold coin and very quickly snatches it and tucks it away.
I think there was a request for a 15.
Huh?
There was a request for a 15-minute.
Oh, I didn't see that. I don't know. Where are we? Sure. We can do that. You there, Craig?
Yeah. Well, there's a lake. We'll be back. Have fun.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
We're back right now?
Mhm.
Okay. Gert,
Doing a lot.
we cut to you. You walk up the steps and go back to the suite in the back and knock on the door. Very promptly, it is answered by the older-looking gentleman who probably approaching 40s to mid 40s, which is older for the Empire, from what you've seen. There was, the older folks were mostly loyalists and were called out. He is wearing very fine velvet mage robes. You can see a wand sticking out of his belt, ready to be used. No sort of martial weaponry involved in him. He's got a full beard. Very graying on the ends, and he smiles and goes, "Welcome. You are the Williams man. I've heard."
I have worked for William, yes. Worked for what is his name?
Lucas. Is that
Lucas.
who you're after?
I thought I wrote it down. My
Ah,
pages are all wet. I've done work for Lucas on the Borderlands.
Lucas, he's a fine lad. I taught him myself at the academy. Glad he's doing well out there. He'll rise through the ranks fast. Come in. We have much to discuss. The name of William. And he ushers you in, and there's this room looks like he's begun to sort of like set up his own little living station. There's a tea kettle on the table. He looks like he's got like a suitcase on the bed that has half a bunch of robes and stuff sort of like tossed out. And he proffers you to sit across him from the table. And he's, will you have some tea?
I suppose.
Wonderful. With a wave of his hand, a teacup is conjured for you, and the kettle lifts and pours tea. And as it pours out, it becomes steaming hot. You have a cup of tea for you. Greg looks at you and kind of squints his eyes as he sort of takes you in as the cup floats in front of you. Do you take the cup of tea?
Yeah, I grabbed the cup.
Okay. He takes that time to sort of like take in your demeanor. He goes, I've never met one of your kind. Wouldn't call you a native son of the Elysian Empire. Where is it that you hail from?
I hail from what is the Goblands?
Yeah, the Goblands.
Just outside of Arrowknee.
We've heard tale of Arrowknee. Sparse rumors mostly have made it down to the south. William definitely has his eye on the resources, but I am just a part of the plan. I wouldn't presume to know what he wants. But in terms of my mission here, I think you might be of use, a man of William. Have you heard of the tavern owner across the way, Mason, I believe he's called?
I have. He's actually why I'm here.
Oh. Tell me, why have you come to me this day then? Maybe our prospects align.
For me, being a soldier, you always want to be on the right side, and unfortunately for myself and some of my companions, without being shown which is the right side, we could fall on the wrong side, if you know what I mean. So I come to the point of authority in the town to see.
Kirk, you are not the brightest individual of the ball, but for the cinematic nature of it all, the audience out there, the wicked smile that comes across the magistrate's face. William's way, my son. That is the true way. Well, let me enlighten you on what I plan to do here. There seems to be a lycanthrope problem prevalent in this village for decades now. Baked into this. And like the disgust on his face as he thinks about the camp. Excuse the phrase shithole. The main man is Mason. Don't know if you noticed on his person that wicked silver knife. Silver. The only thing that can hurt like him. He runs this town with an iron fist. Or I should say, a silver knife. A
Just
man
nodding.
of... Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
just taking it in, nodding.
Hmm?
Yes.
I plan to take a subtle approach. Slowly whittle away his power using my influence and the good name of William. Maybe we can speeden things up. Get me out of here faster than I hoped. Your weapon. I sense magic in it. Is it true?
Yes, true.
May I examine it?
I would take it out, but I'd be very reluctant to give it to him due to the nature of the axe.
Yeah. So you sort of like proffer it forth, but your fists never let go. Like you don't open palm hand it to him. You just sort of like fists clenched on the handle.
Yeah.
Hold it out to him. And he takes a moment and he actually takes 10 minutes and ritually casts Identify on it. As the 10 minutes pass, he looks up at you and goes, "Oh my poor boy. Seems you are a cursed individual. No big deal. Not too dangerous. Would you... I don't have the means to solve this."
Girk has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Kind of cocking his head like a dog.
Essentially, he goes, "If you do as I need, I can pull some strings back in the capital. We're not a religious bunch here in the Empire, but we have our curse breakers. I may know a few people."
I'm like,
But-
I'm doing big like head shake up and down, like I know exactly. Yes, I know.
Wonderful. Yeah, he sees right through you, but is happy to have a lackey. Are you alone? You travel through... I can't believe that Lucas let you through the border and gave you a chit on your own.
I have a party of companions happened into the tavern right up.
Do they look like you?
No, we are varying sizes and shapes. Dwarfs and the darker of the elves.
They're also a problem in this region, but nothing my garrison can't handle.
They're a good group, but as I said, we happened into the tavern, and
All men of William like you?
yes, all of us.
Wonderful. Wow. I can't give you anything in writing. I wouldn't want my name tied in it if everything goes wrong, and I don't know if you even know how to read, but you are capable of dealing with Mason all on your own with that weapon you have in your hand. And if your allies are much the same, you lot are now the strongest people in town. Except me, of course.
So, should we discuss any needs, or I need to
You
get
came
back?
here. You came here looking to know which side is the right side. The right side is William's side, and William wants order in this town. Wants it to become a productive member of the Empire. Mason stands in the path of progress. The future is coming to him. Show him that future. Do you understand me?
I believe I do.
Wonderful, wonderful. As great as this conversation was, I have my studies to attend to. I have to prepare for any forthcoming raids. As I stated previously, the Dark Elves do seem to have a enjoyment of raiding this poor town, and need to set up defenses. I also need to round up the hooligans and make sure that when they're hanged, they stay hanged this time and are put to good work after the hanging.
Nodding his head again, like he has any.
Yeah, any understanding of what I just said.
Mhm.
At that point, he kind of stands up, turns his back to you, and begins messing around with his stuff again. Done with the conversation and expecting you to understand to leave.
Being a soldier, he understands when a superior is done with him.
And you walk out. You head back down the stairs past the rat man, who you still no name for him. He's just currently the rat man. And head back out in the thoroughfare. At this point, it's twilight. Sun's setting. Sun's at that sort of like spooky time where the it's red on the horizon. The sky looks bloody. Lights are beginning to be turned on around the walkway, and you are free to do whatever you wish. You, by the way, have been carrying around a flank of meat this whole time.
Exactly. I'm going to find a stoop just to sit down in a quiet space.
Easy enough. You kind of pull into one of the little side alleys that are between the buildings, and just take a seat and munch away.
I saw a monster eating raw meat in the alley.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
Exactly.
two small children like pull on their mother's skirts as they walk past.
Mission accomplished.
The rest of you guys, I mean, as the night begins, several human women come from the top floor of the tavern and begin milling about. It takes a talking to about 20 minutes in by Mason, who comes down and points out you guys before they approach most of you, because you're odd looking ducks. But the women begin pushing up against you, and with a wink and a nudge, they're trying to get you to come upstairs with them for a price. What would you guys like to do on this night of enjoyment and drink in a tavern?
Out of curiosity, for religious reasons, how close to the full moon is it? I know you had said it was coming up.
Oh, It's probably tonight or tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. Because Conversion will go do rituals and prayers in his own unique way for on the full moon.
Okay. Yeah. I we can say you can go do that tonight.
All right.
I'll scheme with Mason
Almost.
if he'll have me.
You want to go upstairs with him?
I just want
And
to
talk to
him to find out what we're gonna
Alright.
do about
So
this drow and stuff.
You go up to his personal office and talk with him. What is everybody else doing? And Girk, do you ever go back to that tavern, or are you just gonna wait outside?
Depending on how dark it gets, I'm waiting for them to come out.
So it doesn't really get dark because of the full moon, and at one point, Conversion comes out.
Yeah.
I'd ask Conversion, where will we be staying?
Depends. Come walk with me.
I would.
And he starts heading towards the edge of town.
Okay, so we've got one scene here. Narvos, Clarny. What you guys up to?
Oh, actually,
Trying to sense it.
Conversion will give one of the women 5 gold.
Okay.
And tell her to enjoy the night in however she wishes.
She just kind of like when you end up not wanting anything from her, she just kind of gives a shrug and then begins talking to one of the drunk barkeeps. Not barkeeps, the bar patrons. She's just like takes the money, is happy to have it, and then goes to find another cell.
Moves right on. Yep.
She's a woman with a job.
Yep.
Narvos, Clarny, and Carney. What you guys up to?
I'm just gonna be like milling about there. Not really.
There's cards. There's a piano to be played. You're just gonna enjoy the evening.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out. Maybe get another drink. Not do
it.
anything too fancy. Just kind of keep my eyes on, kind of low key.
You got it. They got some good stout ale. Dark brew. Some hearty stuff. Narvos, what you up to?
Yeah, I think I'll be doing kind of the same thing. Just kind of drinking some ale, talking with Clarny, not really, painting the town red or anything, just kind of having a calm evening.
Several points, women try and come and pull both of you away to upstairs chambers. Whether that works or not is up to you guys. But we cut over to Conversion and Girk.
Well, we got rooms at the tavern, but
I would give him my best rendition of what my conversation was.
Yeah,
As
you don't get how sinister and generally malicious Greg Heist is, but you know what he wants you guys to do.
Sure.
Yeah. You don't get the subtle undertones of like this guy's 100% playing Girk for his own means, but
oh no, I
wants.
absolutely have the insight, even though it's secondhand, to know exactly what he's up to. He's like, oh, he wants us to do dirty work and take out a very fucking dangerous threat to him and to the authority of William here.
Yeah.
And he'll take the credit for it.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah, 100%. The conversation we're about to have with Craig is the exact opposite of that.
Oh yeah.
So we'll get to that in a hot minute. But we're having a fun moonlight conversation with Conversion and Girk.
All right, Girk. What do you think? Or do you want to just not get involved?
Hold on. I'm going to something. I'm going to roll something. I've been trying to roll Girk as an ex-military guy. Not the smartest. Follows orders. Girk... if we betray this man and word gets back to William, we have a long trek back through very hostile territories.
True. And I have a feeling word will get back to William very fast. But a town full of werewolves and other things is not a fun place to be. So, I suppose the question for you and me to decide, what do you want to do about Craig?
Craig seems fine. We continue along this path. Not sure where he ends up.
Do you want to bring him to the capital? Or should we find a different path to go? Maybe deeper into the matter?
Gert kind of looks confused.
That's okay. Conversion kind of like says that, and it's like, Girk's not going to get what I just suggested. So, do we want to bring him there, or do we slip away at some point, find this hole to the Underdark, and see what's down there?
That seems like it would work out better for Craig if that's the path we took.
It does.
The problem being that we are here now. One of our party members has already been threatened with death, and he has disappeared.
But he went with you.
In fairness, he just sort of vanished into the ether.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of just as a player, just glossing it over.
He will reappear like always, just like Tim Toothy won't be gone forever if you guys decide to dive into the Underdark. Tim Toothy's gonna come around a cave corner and be like, "Found you guys! Hey, took me forever."
There you are.
Yeah, I'm not here to complicate matters.
So I suppose that is kind of the question.
Yes. Human presumed necromancer again. Or werefolk who probably eat humanoids regularly.
Yep. Although I suppose there is the third option is to just slip away and not get involved. I don't particularly have any fondness for either of the party.
Agreed.
So what's been decided? There's just been a lot of I don't like either of my options. Should we leave? Tossed around. What's been decided in this quorum?
I think that the two of us are pretty much. Well, conversion is pretty much decided that let's go down into the Underdark. Okay. Maybe a better solution than fighting werewolves and necromancers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a fight a brewing in this town.
Yep. Long term, I don't see the werewolves winning.
It is tough.
Because if that would have happened, well, William wouldn't have been in power. Well, not here at least.
Progress is a tough thing to stop.
Especially when the army is skeletons, and they just get bigger and bigger.
Right. So we move from that sort of quorum scene of like Girk and Conversion coming to the decision that, you know what? Our options suck here. Let's go down into the Underdark where the Dark Elves seem to be raiding from. And we slide over to Craig, who is sort of the heart of a lot of the reasoning why the band is on this trek. Craig, you have gone upstairs into Mason's private chamber. His bed is to one side of the room, and on the side you're on is a large wooden desk, a chair on one side, a chair on the other. He sits in his chair and he pulls out a bottle of whiskey, which looks much better than the one he had downstairs, and pours himself a shot. At this point, have you shown yourself, or are you still acting like
I'm kind of covered at the moment, but I'm gonna hand him a piece of paper that has a crowbar and an ear and a question mark on it. And it's thieves' cant for like, is there prying ears here? Like, are we being listened to?
He looks at it, crumbles it up, puts it in his pocket, and goes, "If anybody's fucking listening, I'll kill him."
That's fair. Can I have a shot?
Slides you over the shot glass he just poured, pulls out another shot glass, and pours himself one. To our health. Takes a drink.
I'll slam it, and then I'll pull down my hood, and I'll be like,
He definitely has like a brief moment of like, what the fuck? This is. He doesn't immediately revolt. He doesn't immediately sort of like push back. This is a man who has seen carnage and death at his own hands plenty of time and lives in this society. But he didn't expect the person he's been talking to for the better part of the day to look like this. The fuck is wrong with you?
yes, I died. I explicitly remember that. After that, I don't remember. I woke up in a keep surrounded by what I assume used to be undead.
What?
I'm with these people, and I feel like I can trust them somewhat, but they've been tasked to take me to William, and I am not doing that. So, you want to take care of these Drow Raiders. I want to get into the Underdark. We could do it for you. You take the credit. You just let us slip by and don't say anything.
And get you a fucking map if that's what you want. Fuck. I need another drink. And he pours himself a shot, and like halfway through pouring it, shakes his head and then just starts drinking the bottle. And he takes a hefty swig and then puts the bottle down and goes, fuck. And he yells out for a man named Dixon. A couple seconds later, the big burly guy who had the heavy crossbow from upstairs comes into the room and he looks, yeah, boss. Go get the map of the area. The one we marked that we had the dark elf mark where their entrance was before we sent them to the boars. Yeah, got it, boss. And he leaves. And Mason turns to you and goes, probably smart, getting out of Dodge. I can feel it in my bones. There's a fight coming. I live for this kind of fight. If that's not what you are about, I recommend you leave. We're sending word around to get the women and children and the non-combatants, one might say, out of Dodge. I've called in all of my chits, all of my credits. I feel within the week there's going to be blood on these walls. Whether it's mine, whether it's heist, blood will be spilled. If that's not what you want, the darkness of the caves probably suits you. fair warning. There's a reason we haven't chased them into their own lands. But your friend's one of them. You might stand a chance.
I appreciate the map, and like I said, feel free to take credit for whatever we're going to do. I assure you, we'll get through the front lines at least.
If I'm alive in a week to take credit, damn sure I will.
I'll reach out a hand to shake him.
He shakes your hand.
We'll stay the night here, and then we'll probably head out.
Aye. My boys will make sure that nobody comes in without our say-so. You don't have to worry about somebody stabbing you in your sleep.
Except maybe the druid.
Yeah, if that fucker comes into my bar, I'll probably gut him myself.
Fair enough. They like to sleep outside. I see him to notice.
And you guys kind of have a lovely conversation. The map comes back, and it's a map of the local area. Prominently in the center is the Emperor's Road, and probably within a day's journey off the road into the forest is a large, like X, literally like etched into a cave, which is the entrance to the Underdark. Literally just looks like it's a cave opening, which like somebody walking by, like walking through the forest, might look at it and see it as just a bear's cave, like a simple bear home. But if you keep on walking down, it keeps on going. And yeah. That's where we'll end that little vignette. Conversion and Gurk. Conversion's doing like ritual holy stuff. Gurk, are you just kind of gonna like stand around and watch?
I'm eating my venison.
Gurk sits down, Conversion, while you begin your rituals and just halt. You want some?
Oh no, I'm good. Yeah, so Convergent basically will. Girk's like he's just kind of like dancing around and stuff, or that's kind of what it looks like. But it is telling a story. I don't know if Girk's going to pick up on the story.
Highly unlikely, but I'll roll.
Girk, go ahead and roll an
Insight?
It's either I'll give you insight, buddy.
I rolled a natural one again. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, Conversion knows how to move.
I rolled fairly
good.
well, but
You got dinner and a show. The moon begins to drop, Conversion, and your rituals come to a close.
Yep.
Gurk has fallen asleep with the venison. Essentially, he's just been chewing on the bone, trying to get marrow out of it at this point, and has fallen asleep with his head in his hands, just sitting out in the field. By the time you wake Gurk up, you pick him up, you make your way back to the tavern. At this point, I want Clarny. 1 second. I need Clarny and Narvos to give me Constitution saving throws, just to see how well you fared through the night.
That is a natural 20.
Nice.
Hold on a second.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I got a 19.
A 19. Clarny and Narvos seem to have outlasted all of the other bartenders and are just playing cards with each other at the card table.
I'm sitting at the bar looking at him now, thinking about being dead.
Yeah. Literally everybody else has either gone up to a room with a girl or is passed out at a table. The only people still awake is your friends. Johnny is not even at the bar. He just, when he left Craig, he just kind of like nodded at you and said, if anything happens, give a shout, and went back behind into his own room.
All right.
So Gherkin converts and return.
Welcome.
Hey,
Welcome back.
It's been a hell of a night.
indeed.
I watched 4 men slip on the same banana peel.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious. I mean,
Kirk is looking around for a banana peel right now.
I totally didn't place it down or anything. Yeah, it was.
Gherk, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Conversion is kind of giving you this look of like,
Ah,
what the fuck did you just say?
natural 18.
Okay. You slip and fall on the ground.
Fair enough. Banana peel didn't get me.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know. There was no banana peel. You kind of just tripped on yourself.
Yeah, as I'm looking around for it.
Continue.
But we have stuff to discuss.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We have 1 room. Let's go.
All right.
You guys all walk upstairs to your one room. You shut the door. You are all in a there's a single twin-sized bed.
I was given a map.
Oh.
He senses a war coming between him and this Magister. I don't plan on sticking around to see it.
Mhm.
I also don't want to go to the kingdom. I hold up the map. I point at the X in the cave. Like, this is where the drow are coming from. He said it's a problem needs taken care of. I say we bust through the front lines. We get in the Underdark. We find our own way. See what we can establish. But that's if you want to come with me. If not, at least come help me fight and let me go.
Hey, I'm with you. I mean, be fun to go back there.
Conversion looks straight at Gurk, right and back at Craig, and be like, well, that was a quick conversation. When do we leave? When do we leave?
So we leave in the morn. It's kind of morn now. I've almost gotten my 4 hours in, so I don't know if you guys want to sleep or what.
It's not like anybody expended anything today.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a day's travel. We could head out, camp before we hopefully ambush.
Okay. So we get going. We go now.
Aye. We grab Philip and Carl. Paul. Fuck.
Paul, yeah.
Paul doesn't
and
talk
Carl.
much. Carl's the talker.
All right.
Right. Okay. So I think we will end today's episode with the decision to ride out. Everybody gathers up and rolls out of town in the waning hours of the morning. The troop rolls out of Livingstone with a war brewing behind them. You guys with intent to head into the Underdark. Thumbs up all
Thumbs
around.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good night,
This
everybody.
feels like a battle that the werewolves are going to completely win,
Right.
but they're going to lose the war.
Yeah. Once enough zombies and skeletons come, there's enough that they can do.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be here for that.
Well, what's going to happen is the next wave is going to come with silver weapons.
Oh, God.
Tell your god to prepare for blood.
Maybe not the next wave, but sooner or later, a wave comes with silver weapons.
Yeah,
Indeed.
eventually, yeah, somebody either at the academy or William himself will be like, why are we just sending normal troops? They're obviously lycanthropes. Silver up.
Let's
Get 'em.
get them. Let's go.
Um,
All right. Good night.
later.